Good evening and welcome to tonight's telephone town hall hosted by the Small Business Majority. Tonight we're going to be talking about the importance of preserving public lands here in Louisiana and how this affects small businesses across the state. My name is Kevin and I will be the moderator for tonight's telephone town hall. We'll begin in just a moment and we're excited to have you join us. But before we begin, a few quick points to make. Right now, we're in the process of dialing out to thousands of small business owners in Louisiana, so just stay on the line and we'll begin shortly. Also, we want to hear from you. So if you'd like to ask our experts a question, please press 0 on your telephone keypad and you'll be connected directly with one of our volunteer operators. Again, press 0 to ask a question. If you've just joined us, thanks so much for joining, and welcome to tonight's live telephone town hall hosted by the Small Business Majority. My name is Kevin, and I'll be the moderator for tonight's event. And we're going to begin in just a moment. Right now, we're in the process of dialing out to thousands of small business owners across Louisiana, so stay on the line and we'll begin shortly. If you'd like to ask our experts from the Small Business Majority a question, please press 0 right now on your telephone keypad. And now, without further delay, I'd like to turn it over to Grant Lemon of the Small Business Majority. Grant, please take it away.
Thanks, Kevin. Hi, everyone. This is Grant with Small Business Majority. I'm the Southern Director for Small Business Majority, and we're a national business organization founded and run by small business owners dedicated to bringing the small business voice to policymakers both in Louisiana and around the country, and to make sure that your voice is heard as a business owner on issues of importance, from healthcare to public lands, which is what we're talking about today. We're thrilled to provide this teletown hall to educate small business owners and hear from you, get some feedback from you on this important issue of public lands in Louisiana and the Federal Land and Water Conservation Fund. We're thrilled to have an expert on the matter, our Research and Policy Director, Conan Knowles, on the phone today, and so we're excited to get started and appreciate you taking the time this evening to join us. Kevin? Hi, we may have some technical difficulties. I am not able to hear Kevin, and so if we can have potentially just jump over to Conan to come talk to us about what's going on with public lands there in Louisiana.
Yeah, hi everyone. As Grant said, my name is Conan Knoll. I'm Small Business Majority's Director of Policy and Strategy, and I also oversee the research for the organization. We want to share with you some findings from a recent poll that we conducted about public lands in Louisiana, and specifically the Land and Water Conservation Fund. First, let me say why we would like to talk about, or why we're interested in finding about the Land and Water Conservation Fund. It will expire in 2015, September of 2015, if it's not extended by Congress right now. And it's a federal land and water conservation fund which receives funding from fees paid by oil and gas companies that do offshore drilling. The money from it that it generates protects national forests and parks. It also matches money that state and local governments use to invest in protecting clean water and wildlife habitat. So over the last 4 decades, Louisiana has received about $205 million to protect places like the Jean Lafitte National Historic Park and Preserve, the Atchafalaya National Wilderness Refuge, and local parks and recreational facilities. However, like I said, if Congress doesn't vote to extend the fund, it will expire next year. So let's also find out why we are interested in asking small business owners why they care about this. Small businesses are the lifeblood of Louisiana's workforce. They account for 97% of all businesses in the state, and they employ more than half of all private sectors workers in Louisiana. We depend on them to keep local communities thriving, but in the current fiscal climate, many small business owners are having a hard time turning a profit. So now is a better time than ever to help them thrive. And this polling that we did on this shows that Louisiana small business owners think that protecting the state's natural assets is one way we can help small businesses and the local communities. So there's a reason why Louisiana is nicknamed the Sportsman's Paradise. The state is home to 2.1 million acres of public lands, and wildlife tourism contributes $2 billion in revenues annually to the state. And it supports 82,000 jobs. From swamp tours to local hotels and restaurants, Louisiana's public lands are important to the success of small business. Considering those numbers, it should not come as a surprise that our poll found that 9 in 10 Louisiana small business owners believe the state's parks, waterways, and public lands are an important part of the economy. And 94% agree public lands draw visitors and have a positive impact on small local businesses. So I'm going to get into some of the details of the poll. So we found that small business owners want congressional leadership to renew funding that protects the state parks and lands. Specifically, 9 in 10 Louisiana small business owners think congressional leadership should extend the life of the Federal Land and Water Conservation Fund, which, like I said before, is going to expire in September of 2015. 93% of Louisiana small business owners support Congress extending the life of the fund well beyond then. So it is more than 9 in 10. More than 9 in 10 Louisiana entrepreneurs agree that public lands draw visitors and have a positive impact on local small businesses, that the preservation of these lands is important to the economy and can create jobs. 94% agree public lands, forests, waterways attract visitors and have a positive impact. I should say that getting findings in the 90s like this on any poll is pretty unheard of. So this is something that people in the state, small business owners in the state, feel very strongly about. 90% believe that public lands are an important part of the economy, and 87% believe that we can protect our land and water and have a strong economy and create local jobs. Another finding is we found that 2/3 of Louisiana entrepreneurs believe that policymakers should do more to protect the state's lands and environment than they're doing now. Only 13% believe that policymakers should be doing less than they're doing now. We also found that 4 in 5 small business owners think that the fund can create outdoor recreation opportunities that support local jobs and businesses, and only 15% that believe that renewing the fund wouldn't have any impact on local jobs. And the vast majority of small employers believe the fund's revenues should go to intended purposes only, the protection of public lands. So this is more specifically about how the fund would work. Since the fund was created, almost 2/3 of the money that it generates has gone to other uses, leaving our national parks without all the money they need. So 84% of business owners believe that practice needs to change, and that all the money that is generated from these offshore oil drilling sources needs to go to the protection of public lands, like those I mentioned earlier in Louisiana. One thing to note about the poll is that the respondents were a majority Republican. 50% of the small business owners who responded to the poll identified themselves as Republican or independence-leaning Republican. 37% identified themselves as Democrat or independent-leaning Democrat, and 7% identified as independent. So as you can see, there's a real strong case on the small business perspective on why we should protect these public lands. Thank you very much, and I'm willing to take questions on the findings of our poll.
Great. Thanks, Conan. You've been listening to Conan Knoll of the Small Business Majority and Grant Lamon for Small Business Majority before that. We're on the call with hundreds of small business owners across Louisiana. And before we take our first question, we want to hear from you. So utilizing your telephone keypad, press 1 if your small business is self-employed, if it's just you. Press 2 if you have 10 or fewer employees. Press 3 if you have 11 to 25 employees, and press 4 if you have over 25 employees. Again, we want to see who's on the call in terms of our small business owners, so we're eager to get that feedback from everyone on the call. Press 1 if your small business is self-employed. Press 2 if you have 10 or fewer employees. Press 3 if you have between 11 and 25 employees, and press 4 if you have over 25 employees. And it looks like, again, if you'd like to ask a question of Grant or Conan, our experts tonight from the Small Business Majority, please press 0. And it looks like our first question comes from Catherine from New Orleans. Catherine, you're live on the air.
Hi. Thanks for taking my question. I'm listening to what you guys are saying, and I guess I can see why, if you're a restaurant or a farm, like why this would be important with public lands. But I own a small clothing store, so I'm not really sure, how does this pertain to me?
Well, I'll take that. I think that, there are definitely businesses that support or that would benefit from this more directly than a store like yours. But I would also say that, if the state has a strong public lands protection and a good system of parks and waterways that are protected that draw tourists to the state, that is kind of a rising tide that would help float all boats. So, having more people coming to the state to do business or to go on a swamp tour or something like that means that there's more people in New Orleans looking for a cool T-shirt. I have found myself in that very position. And so I do believe that, what's good for one economic sector does help all, and I think that's why you probably see such strong results on all of these different, from small business owners on these different questions.
Great. Catherine, thanks so much for that question. Again, please press 0 if you'd like to ask Grant or Conan, our experts from the Small Business Majority, a question. It looks like, Conan, we got a question online that said from someone that this makes sense, this information makes sense, but what can we do right now to make sure our senators and members of Congress actually do something, actually act on this issue? Can you fill in our listeners in on that?
Yeah, actually, I think I'd defer to Grant on that. That's more his area.
Yeah, thanks everyone. That's a really great question. One of the things that we can have you do is actually some of this conversation will be happening. I know it's kind of a crazy time with the elections going on here in Louisiana and all around the country. But after this craziness of the election gets over here in November, Congress will be coming back and be talking very specifically about this issue. If you'd like to learn more about that information, or if you'd like to find ways to get involved, I'd actually love for you to contact me directly. And again, that's you can email us at glamann@smallbusinessmajority.org, or you can go visit us on our website at smallbusinessmajority.org and use our contact sheet. We'll get you plugged in and help you find the best way for you to get involved and make an impact here as Congress comes back to session after the November elections. Great question.
Great. Thank you so much, Grant. And actually, the technology allows us to log in people's comments right now as well. So if you'd like more information about how Small Business Majority can help protect Louisiana's public lands, press 1 right now on your telephone keypad. Again, press 1 if you'd like more information about what the Small Business Majority is doing to encourage small businesses to protect Louisiana's public lands. And I want to be mindful of everyone's time here tonight, so I'd like to kick it back to Grant for some additional information about, or Conan as well, about additional information about what Small Business Majority is doing down in Louisiana.
Yeah, thanks, Kevin. We appreciate everyone's time here today talking about this very important issue and really the impressive support that we've found in the small business community when it comes to protecting and preserving the public lands in and around Louisiana. We would love for you to check us out again at our website, smallbusinessmajority.org, to read all about the work that we do, both on this issue and others in and around Louisiana and around the country. And if that's something that you're interested in, we'd love to hear from you and hear your story. One of the things that we do is highlight business owners and highlight their work and their type of business on our blog and in other on social media, so that you can get involved, market your business, and also and make your voice heard on a variety of public policy issues that you might care about. So we encourage you to, again, check us out at smallbusinessmajority.org for what we do and ways to get involved. And again, we urge you to press 1 on your phone right now if you'd like to find more ways to get involved. We'll follow up with you and make that connection as well. So we greatly appreciate your time. Conan, thank you for jumping on and going over the research and the polling that we've done. And appreciate, again, everyone taking their time this evening. And we hope to be in touch with all of you in the coming months.
Great. Thanks so much, Grant. Thanks so much, Conan. Members on this call, small business owners, can also leave a voicemail message at the end of this call talking about their small businesses over recording, and we'll follow up with you afterwards as well. Again, press 1 right now if you'd like more information, and we're so grateful for all the small business owners across Louisiana for being on tonight's call. Thanks so much, and have a great night.